Happy New Year. Thank you for your support for CITAM Church Online. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed, you have shared, you faithfully watch our videos, but you also pass them on to others. We have been blessed by your support, and I pray that in this new year, God would shine His face on you and that you'd experience His favor, you'd experience His blessings. My name is George Murichu. I serve as a pastor with Christ is the Answer Ministries, Woodley, and it's my joy to bring to you this video. I believe that God, who has allowed us to cross over into this new year, has a purpose. He has an agenda for your life. And in this new year, at the earliest possible opportunity, it would be great if you would be like the sons of Issachar, men who discerned the times and understood what God would have them do in the given seasons that they were walking in. And one of the ways to be like the sons of Issachar is to turn to the scriptures. In this new year, as people will be wishing one another blessings and benediction and just Happy New Year and so forth, I pray that you will truly experience a happiness, the happiness that is tied to God's shalom. And that's what I want to unpack in this video. God's shalom, God's blessedness in our lives. When we consider that word shalom, it's a broad term. It's like an umbrella term that communicates to us various things. Among them being the blessedness that God's presence brings about, prosperity, favor, destruction of chaos, as I mentioned in our previous video. And we see that in the Bible, when you see the word blessed, for example, in Psalms chapter 1, the psalmist declares, "Blessed is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly." Other versions would say, "Happy is the man who does not walk in the counsel of the ungodly." In the New Testament, when Jesus was sharing, preaching his very first sermon, and he was giving the Beatitudes, he talks about, "Blessed are the pure in heart, blessed are the peacemakers." And some versions would say, "Happy are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Happy are the peacemakers, for they shall be children of God." I'm saying all of that to point us to this thing, that happiness and blessedness are actually connected. That the biblical idea of happiness is one of blessedness, one of shalom. And we see shalom as something being accruing to God's people, coming to God's people when they walk in obedience. So I want to challenge you this year. What would your life look like if you experienced God's shalom? If God's shalom was in your family, I think that there would be fewer disagreements, there would be fewer arguments. A dysfunctional family would thrive, and God would heal and cause it to become a thriving, healthy and whole family. A marriage that is on the rocks would be basically bound up together. Husband and wife would come together. How would it look like to aim for this, to aim for shalom in this new year? What would your academics look like if God brought shalom therein? In Deuteronomy chapter 28, one of the blessings of obedience, one of the things that God promises His covenant people is that they would be the heads and not the tail. They would be above and not beneath. So I'm submitting to us that we can experience God's shalom. And how that will look like will be different amongst each and every one of us. But ultimately, shalom communicates to us that we can experience the blessing of God's presence. Deuteronomy chapter 28 says that if you faithfully obey the voice of the Lord your God, being careful to do all His commandments that I command you today, the Lord your God will set you high above all the nations of the earth, and all these blessings shall come upon you and overtake you if you obey the voice of the Lord your God. All these blessings shall overtake you if you obey the voice of the Lord your God. And that word obedience, it's tied to walking together with God. As we come forth into this new year, I pray that we will walk with God. I pray that you will experience the presence of God, and that as you walk intimately with Him, as you walk in obedience, where His duty becomes your delight, where His commands become your creed, where the things that He has spoken become fleshed out in your life, you will experience shalom. You'll begin to see fullness in your life, richness in your life, prosperity. God will destroy chaos. The things that bring about chaos in our lives, of course, they stem from the fall that happened in Genesis chapter 3. But my prayer for you is that in this new year, you will experience God's shalom. You will experience His prosperity, His abundance, His blessings. And as you're watching this, maybe you haven't yet committed your life to Christ. The first step in order for you to experience that shalom is for you to enter into a union with Jesus Christ, for Him to be your Lord and for Him to be your Savior. And maybe you are already born again, and you can do an audit of your life and you see that there's a lot of chaos. There's still a lot of chaos. You need to practically experience God's shalom. And that's my desire at a personal level, at a family level, in ministry, in every aspect of my life. I desire the fullness of God's presence. And I pray that you will experience that fullness as well. So as we launch into this new year, may God bless you. May God shine His countenance upon you. May God give you His shalom, as the priests would declare over God's people in that benediction found in the book of Numbers. May God bless you.